Hey everyone, it's Justin. Thank you for watching and welcome to my house. It's time for another edition of Comment Desk. This will be number 2. It's been about like 2 or 3 weeks since I recorded the last one, and man, my comments have gone up. I don't know what I'm doing right or doing wrong, but there's a lot of comments. So let's head over. I'm on my YouTube channel here. You probably have not seen this view before, but I've got a filter here to check for comments that I have not responded to. And embarrassingly, this goes back about 2 weeks. It takes a bit to load them all. There's so many of them, but let's get started here. At the very bottom, we'll go with J&100. Is it possible to change automatically the status, like out of office, available, away, in Teams by using a similar method? He's talking to the video. He's talking about the video I did where I show how to open and close Teams on a schedule. J&1, I don't think there is, because there's no pre-built thing on Automator for Microsoft Teams. A lot of the Automator stuff is built around Apple's things. So if I open Automator here, you can see I've got calendar, contacts, files and folders, internet, mail. So notice these are all like Apple applications. Microsoft Teams isn't one of those. So I don't know of a way to do it. But I am curious now, so I'm going to put this kind of in my backlog of kind of things that, hey, is there a way to kind of do this? But off the top of my head, no, I don't know a way to do that with Automator, although that's not a bad idea. The whole idea of Microsoft Teams and your calendar should take care of that for you, right? So if you're using your calendar to say that you're in a meeting, or if you're using Teams and you're actually in a meeting, it'll put you as in a call, stuff like that. So that's why I haven't looked into it, because it does that pretty well. I'm a pretty big calendar person myself, so that pretty much takes care of it for me, but definitely add this to my backlog of things to maybe do. So short answer, no, I don't think so. Long answer, you may see a video sometime in the future. I doubt it, but it's worth some looking into. Let's go to the next one from Mr. Class Mass from 2 weeks ago. We are trying to have, my head's in the way again. Let's move my head that direction while we read the comment here. We are trying to have incident to create a Jira bug. Ideally, there is a button on the incident that, when selected, creates the Jira bug. Not now Agile in the middle. How would you recommend we do this? And this is in response to my video, ServiceNow and Jira integration, incidents, cases, or any task. Let me be pretty straightforward, Mr. Classmaster. The whole recommendation I gave in that video was to have ServiceNow Agile in the middle, because it's a pre-built integration, meaning you don't have to maintain it. ServiceNow is maintaining it. So that's my recommendation. If you want to go around it, yes, you can. There's a Jira spoke with Integration Hub, so you have to have Integration Hub, and you need to put the spoke in. You need to build your workflows out, or your flows and Flow Designer. So you've got a bit of work to do, but that's the way you're going to do it. And then you got to think about, are you going to keep that in sync if that bug gets closed? So lots to kind of design there, but that's not the way I actually recommend doing it. I made the video for that reason, because I recommend using that middleman. It's something that can be transparent too. Like, people don't have to know that you're using Agile as the middleman. So I don't know. That was the point of that video. If you want to do it without it, definitely use the Jira spoke and go for it. So next up is Durbanite3997, also from 2 weeks ago. Thanks, Justin. This is actually about the same video, ServiceNow and Jira integration. Thanks for the great video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that, and leaving a comment. Quick question. When you take an incident and you create a story, and that obviously syncs with the Jira and creates a Jira issue, is there a way to say which issue type you would like to create with the incident? For instance, in my use case, I would like to create a Jira issue of production bug type, and what I'm trying to figure out how I would specify that. Well, Durbanite3997, you do it when you're configuring the integration with Jira. There's some mappings that are defaulted to out-of-the-box maps for, if I have this story record in ServiceNow, create this particular issue type in Jira. So you have to go play with those. I imagine, based on the way you described this, though, that you may have several different paths to go. Production bug versus an issue versus just a generic old regular bug from someone testing. If that's the case, you're probably going to get into some inner workings of that integration. And you probably could leverage a decision table to open different kinds of issues over in Jira. That's a little bit more intricate. So just like I was telling Mr. Classmas down here, or Classmas, if you get outside of that kind of single use case, then you might want to start looking into that Jira spoke and not using Agile as the middleman, like he was saying in his comment. And in that case, you're kind of taking ownership of the integration. You're going to have to do all that hard work yourself. So definitely is doable, but you're going to have to either modify something with the integration I showed, or you're going to have to make your own integration. Also, no, this is actually moving to Azure DevOps. Shamanth SDM7HQ, can you show us the table map for epic field on a story table? Can you show us the table map for epic field on a story table? I'm not sure quite what you're asking there, because epics don't match or map to stories. That's not how Azure DevOps work. So epics, in fact, I don't even remember what they map to. Let's go ahead and open, let's see how quickly I can get my other instance open here and actually look at those mappings for the Azure DevOps. All right, so my instance finally came up here. Let's search for Azure DevOps. I've got my team integration settings, which I believe is where all that stuff sits, where those maps are. So maybe not. Let's go. That's the team. That's the Agile team. There's the... there it is. Okay, so let's start over again. Azure DevOps instances is where you want to go. Then you open the instance, which I'll open my connected one here. And then there's process mappings. And then within the process mappings, you can see here I've got different process names. Agile, Basic, CMMI, Scrum. If I open Agile, there was my table maps. And you can see here where Epic is mapped to Epic, right? So that's like the default stories, user story and service, or user story and Azure DevOps is mapped to story and ServiceNow. Epic is mapped to Epic. So that's why I was a bit like with your question, what do you mean mapping an Epic to a story? Can you show us the table map for Epic field on story table? Or did you mean the story field? Okay, let's go back to that one. So if we go to the user story, there is the map, and so you can see, okay, this might be what you're looking for. The internal field is going to be Epic, right? So in ServiceNow, on the story table, Epic is the field, and it's mapping to system.parent, which is the external field. You can see it here over in Azure DevOps. So system.parent, I think, is the one you're looking for. So I'll go update the comments so you see that, but it looks like I found your answer. Just took me a little bit to get there, but we got there. All right, next, and thank you for watching, by the way. Next up is Damhoj, or D-A-M-H-O-J, and the workspace is updated yet again. Yes, that is the routine here with ServiceNow. When they move things into the store applications release process, now they can update it kind of whenever they want, right? When there's a bug or when there's a feature they want to release without waiting for a family release. So you're right, yes, it definitely has been updated, and I have not done an updated video since they've updated. In fact, it's been completely overhauled since I made that video you're talking about there, the May 2022 updates. That's over a year and a half old now, I guess, since I've done that. So I'm trying to get rid of this thing on the screen. How do I just tab out of there? Yeah, there we go, tab out. Okay, all right, so I gotta scroll back down. There was that one in the workspace. All right, next up from Paul Wolhoff 6592. Why you call it goals and targets and not objectives and key results? That would make it much easier to reflect to. Well, Paul Wolhoff 6592, I don't work for ServiceNow. I don't design the software. I'm not on the product team. They call it goals and targets. I suspect they're trying to keep it generic, is my guess. But objectives and key results, I believe, is, there's a book I remember reading about it, and it was it's from that capital investor guy. And Google adopted it, so there may be an issue, like a legal issue. I don't know. That's probably a question better directed to the ServiceNow product team, which I'm not a part of. I'm not connected to. The second question, the current value of a key result target needs to be entered manually. Are there any plans to make it possible that this is automatically fed from other systems? Yes, in fact, they've updated it since I made this video. The video he's referencing for everyone here is OKRs, Objectives and Key Results with the ServiceNow Goal Framework. That was even before, like, they had even, they've developed that application a lot since I made that video. So yes, there's a ways to do stuff automatically, and of course it's ServiceNow. You can integrate with anything, should you have the right licensing and the right development expertise at your disposal. But yes, Paul, I'll update here, but number one, I didn't name it, and so I was connecting the dots between, hey, the OKRs and goals, trying to show people that you can do OKRs in ServiceNow, and yes, there's the ability to do automatic stuff. Maybe I'll make a video on that too. So I got a couple things to add in my backlog. All right, next up from Putu, P-U-T-O-O-O-9-1. Hi Justin, great video. Thank you very much for watching. This is in reference to my ServiceNow visual task boards, one of my most popular videos on the channel. Just had a quick question. Is there a way to relate the board statuses to the actual task status? For example, if I move it to the done section, can it be automatically marked as complete in the system? Heck yeah, you can. I can't remember, it's been a minute since I made that particular video, but let's head over to my PDI, and I'm just going to open, I don't think I have any incidents in my new PDI. Let's go ahead and see here. It's running the crawl there for the store. I do have incidents. So if you were to make a visual task board from a table like this, you can go up to the state, which you were talking about, and you can go to show visual task board, and instead of having that to do in the done lane that you were referencing, notice that it put the states along the top as the lanes or the columns. So I have new, in progress, on hold, resolved, closed, and canceled. And when you drag this incident from test to test incident from new to in progress, it's going to update the state. So let's look at that. This incident right now is in a new state. We'll just open it to make sure that it's in a new state, and you can see it right here. State is new, and we want to update the state by dragging it to in progress. So it's going to just drag it over there, and if I open it again, now the state will be updated to in progress. So that's how you do it. And so you want to make basically, don't do a free form board in your visual task board. Make sure you're doing a data-driven board, or do it like I just showed you, create it directly from the table. So I have to scroll back down again because every time I come off of here it goes down. All right, so yes you can, and hopefully you see this video how to do it. All right, next, Andrew Fielden 284 asked 12 days ago, how do I change the categories on the storyboard? Can you use your own custom freeform board? This is in the sprint tracking in ServiceNow. No, actually you cannot. On the sprint tracking, that is part of the Agile board, and it's not configurable. I don't believe there is a way that you can. If you do, you can use a custom freeform board, and then you're going to basically change your swim lanes are going to be the sprints, and you're going to go off to the story table. And you got a little bit of work there to do about your vertical lanes instead of your swim lanes for state. So it's not exactly free form like you're asking there. It's more of a data-driven board with some modifications. So you can do it. It's just not going to be from the Agile board view there. So sorry about that, Andrew, but that's the way that one's going to work. Next comment from Angela Butler 9850 12 days ago. She's referencing send any ServiceNow task to Azure DevOps, one of my videos, and she said, this is great, thank you, Angela, appreciate that. Have you tried to set it up with two-way integration? I would want to close the ADO story and have it update in ServiceNow against the catalog task, SC task there. We don't want to go to Agile Dev, we want to bypass that and just go from schedule or catalog task to ADO. Right now we don't need to worry about incidents either. Well, just a few minutes ago I was saying that's not the way I recommend doing it. Not that you have to do it the way I recommend it. I actually recommend you have Agile as that middleman or that middle record in order to do it. Especially when it comes to catalog tasks, right? So there's a very special relationship between requests, requested items, and catalog tasks. And to have a catalog task directly hooked to, I actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, that's not so bad. It's not like the incident where you hook an incident directly instead of having incident task flow over. So yeah, actually, you might be all right with catalog task. But okay, so just like I answered before, if you're going to do that, you're going to need to use the Azure DevOps board spoke. So there's a spoke just for the Azure DevOps board. I think it's called board. It sounds right. Let's just go to the ServiceNow store and make sure I'm saying that right. Store. Please don't make me log into the store. Sometimes it makes me log in. Yeah, I'll just open up. Let's go to the other browser I had there. It's so weird. Once it knows who I am, it makes me log in. But if I go to a browser where it doesn't know who I am, I can open up the store without having to authenticate and log into the store. So just open a different profile there, and we'll search for Azure DevOps. And I believe it's called Azure DevOps Board Spoke. Azure DevOps Board Integration for DevOps. Receive work items from Azure DevOps Boards. Integration Hub. Yeah, so you're still going to need an Integration Hub. You're still going to have to do all that. And I think I'm just making sure there wasn't anything integrations. There's 24 of them. This is it. This is the one I wanted to. Microsoft Azure DevOps Board Spoke. So not the integration, the actual spoke. And this is where you can have all the actions to do everything you need. So you would have to build the flow in Flow Designer on your instance to, hey, when a catalog task gets created for this team, go ahead and send it over and keep them in sync and all that. So again, you're designing your own integration, but that's how you do it. Not the way I recommend it. I think if you want to save some time, you want to do it the other way where they've taken care of that for you, but you asked the question and that's the answer. And I changed my mind about the catalog task. I actually think that's appropriate. If you were doing the request or the requested item, I'd be like, hey, I wouldn't do that. But the catalog task actually feels okay in my mind, knowing how it works. All right. Next question is, let's see here. Angela Butler there. Okay, this is from Alan Ovation. 8 days ago. Very nice video. He's referencing, that was a recent one, create a JSON payload with the JSON builder step. I really like that one. I'm actually using that now in one of my flows. But he said, very nice video. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate that. For the glide date time within your prepare REST body script, you may be able to use the get display value of the respective input field to get into your time zone without needing to do the math, ? Yes, one of the scripts I was looking at had the get display value. And I can't remember if I even tried it or just kind of, once I go down a road, I kind of like, hey, let me get this finished so I can mark the task as complete. Additionally, you could add a date time field to capture when you think that task or event will be done, so it isn't always doing 1 hour, as your task could vary in length of time needed. Yeah, that's actually not the case on this one. I just wanted a representation of my video. So my videos are tasks, and I wanted a representation of when that video is going to release. And if it's an hour, it fits really nicely on my calendar. So I just want it to be an hour long. The videos are never an hour, not usually. I don't think I have an hour-long video. But yeah, that was intentional for the 1 hour window. But yeah, if someone had something where it was, you could definitely send a different date and time. And instead uses the value from your content record. Just a few suggestions to throw out there since I happen to think of them, haha. I know you're a fan of always optimizing or tweaking, but this would probably be a lower priority. Well, as you can see with me getting around to the comments, Alan, it's definitely a lower priority. There's like getting to the comments, obviously. I've had to carve out time for this, but what I ended up doing is I don't know if you saw the end part of that video, is I've done away with the script. I don't need the script step anymore because I'm using the JSON builder step. So within that JSON builder step, I bet I could do some of that tweaking to the dates and times and time zones, because there is still some funny business going in there where I have to like add an hour within the JSON builder step. There's no get display value, but there's also in that JSON builder step, there's a convert to string. Which I think is the same or similar to the get display value. But yeah, thank you for watching and leaving such a helpful comment. I appreciate that. And yeah, that was a fun video to make, and like I said, I'm actually using it. On the same video, a Jinkashinde3670 also asked, how can we return sysid, I think that's ID, sysid through transform data broker script in UI Builder? Man, that has nothing to do with the video you posted that comment on. So I'm happy you're on the channel and watching my videos. I appreciate that. UI Builder is something I'm still learning. I would consider myself still a novice in UI Builder. I haven't wrote any data broker scripts. I haven't done any transforms. I haven't done any of that stuff. Most of what I've done in UI Builder is drag and drop and kind of follow tutorials. In fact, I have a couple of videos from last year where I'm basically just following one of the tutorials from Brad Tilton kind of to build my own recipe thing. So I am not qualified to answer your question. It also has nothing to do with the JSON builder step, so I'm not sure if you left this on the right video, so I'm just calling it to your attention in case you need to go post that to someone else's video that you might have got confused from mine, because not related. But I'll update you here, and obviously you've got this video to reference as well. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and always thanks for leaving a comment. I love the interaction. Next up, Pout a hitted. Some of these I can't pronounce. I have an issue with the renewal calendar view. Even though we are getting some results when using the list view for renewal calendar view, these results are not being displayed. So this was done on the new renewal calendar in the software workspace, or software asset workspace in ServiceNow. Hey, I've said this a couple times on the channel. This isn't a really good format for troubleshooting. It's kind of like, I need to see what you're doing. I need to see how it's configured. I need to compare it to what's out of the box versus what I have sometimes in my demo environments. Sometimes out of the box is different from what we demo. And so I'm not really qualified to answer your question. So I don't know why you're not getting results like I showed in the video. I'm sorry about that, but you may want to check out the ServiceNow community. This is a good time to plug the ServiceNow community. That is a great forum to get technical support, technical help, because you can post your question like you've got it here. You can put in a screenshot. There are experts that can come in and respond and ask you for maybe even a quick recorded video or something. And it's just a good format. Here on YouTube, it's just not a great format for troubleshooting someone's ServiceNow instance, unfortunately. So I appreciate you watching, appreciate you taking the time to leave a comment, but you probably need to get a better expert than the guys showing the demo stuff and not actually changing the configuration. Next up, at early Maine, this was 7 days ago. Thanks, Justin. We were looking to disable this feature for the exact reasons you mentioned in the video. Go figure. This was about disable ServiceNow product feedback in the help menu. And I'm so glad that resonated with you, because I felt like if I was the owner of an instance and feedback is going direct to ServiceNow, and it's because I did something wrong, or I need to fix something, I'd want to intercept that. So I was thinking about it since I made the video. It'd be nice to have a form where people can provide feedback, and then you could check a box or hit an approval or something, then go ahead and send it on to the ServiceNow product team so they have it, and you could tell your customer hey, now they've got it. I don't see that in this initial release of how they did that, so I'm glad that we can disable it, and I'm glad you found it helpful. So thank you for watching, and I appreciate the feedback from you. Next up, Grant Hamilton 6493. Hi Justin, great video again, thank you very much. Question, is there a way to put PA workbenches in these dashboards? I find them very effective and I don't see that option here yet, thanks again. So he's talking about, this is from my Tokyo playlist, the new dashboard experience in ServiceNow's platform analytics workspace, I believe is what that ellipsis is missing there, the ... Let's head over to my PDI, actually not my PDI, let's go over to Utah, and I'm going to go into platform analytics workspace. Oh man, it's Utah, it still hasn't had this sorted yet. I'm so used to Vancouver where the workspaces are all sorted now. I believe, the short answer to your question, I believe you can add performance analytics widgets or stuff into, but you may have to design them or something. So let's go to data visualizations, and I'm just going to hit new and make sure that I'm not crazy here. This is Utah, so this may actually be different in, let me get my head out of the way. This may be different in Vancouver. Let's just see here. These are all vertical bars. Okay, so this is not performance analytics. So what is this indicator scorecard? So this is like a little bit of the KPIs, like a little bit of performance analytics, so you can select one. But I don't think this is what you were asking. Yeah, so these are definitely PA indicators. But that's not, I think what you were asking is how do you get the visuals on the dashboard. Let's see here. Oh man, I lost it again. Is there a way to put PA workbenches in these dashboards? Yeah, so I don't know of a way personally, Grant, and I haven't been tasked with doing that yet. I'm going to put this in the not sure. There may be a way, because for a couple of releases since they released this, and something's telling me, I remember being in a workspace. This will be one of the out-of-the-box workspaces that ServiceNow's built. I don't know if it was like HAM or GRC or something, but there are performance analytics stuff on a landing page. So it may be you getting into UI Builder and adding it there on a landing page or something, and not necessarily the platform analytics dashboard that you can put on a landing page. So it may be just a different way to go there, but I'll put this on my list of things to kind of percolate and think about to see if they're possible or not. So thank you for watching, appreciate it, and thank you for the question. Next up, we've got, I think this is spam, by YouTube Views, EOE45 from 5 days ago. Your #1 subscriber, they were responding to a short that I posted for Allison and I's podcast, the Utterly Allison podcast, number 33. Thank you. I appreciate you being my #1 subscriber. I think I have other subscribers that are closer to #1. Yeah, speaking of a longtime subscriber, look who's next here, Kevin Eldridge, or Eldridge Kevin M. As always, thank you, Justin. He's responding to posting external links in the ServiceNow top menu. I did a short, there's a longer video showing how to do it. And actually in Comment Desk 001 is where I figured it out, how to do it in the video. But I made a separate video because I thought it was cool enough. So thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you. I always appreciate your interactions on the channel, and I'm glad you found that one helpful. So thanks for being a subscriber, Kevin. Next up, Mitkarisunil. 2 days ago, not related to this, but while using the JSON parser step, if we don't get 200 and if we get 404 or other error, then it's throwing cannot convert null to object error. Is there any better way to handle this? So this is similar to the other question I had on my JSON builder step. It's actually more closely related than what they asked about data transforms or whatever. But the only thing that comes to mind is your error handling when you're working in that. So let's hop into Flow Designer, and let me show you something that you may have overlooked. Let's see, Flow Designer. When you're designing an action, right? That's what that video was about. It's a JSON builder step within an action that I'm doing, and I'll probably open that particular one so we can take a look at it. I believe that was in my Justin's house application. Yeah, convert checklist. No, that's not it. Create Google Calendar event is the one I was working on. And there's a step, it's going to let this load here for a second, but this error evaluation step. So add conditions to evaluate errors that may occur in your action steps at runtime. You can overwrite the default error status and steps to produce a runtime by entering a new status code and status messages. So if you add an error condition here, you can specify, what step it came from. So it could be your JSON. You said JSON parser, not JSON builder. So maybe you had a message there and you want to drag that in here and say if it contains 400. Do this, or if it contains 20 or 404 or 200, do that. So this is where you can manipulate or change some of that error handling and that error evaluation. I believe that's the question you were asking. Not really, like you said, it's not related to what I was actually showing there, but I can see how your mind connected the dots there with that one. So hopefully that helps get you in the right direction if you haven't found that on your own already. All right, next up is going to be from Junkmail9958. I think this is more spam. On my Microsoft Edge browser settings video. This is another oldie, but a goodie. Basically, I don't even use Microsoft Edge anymore. I'm actually on Apple. But he says, or they say, oh my gosh, thank you. I did get my life back. If I made a video, it would have been exactly that. My day looks so much brighter. I detect a little bit of sarcasm, but you know what? Thanks for watching. Thanks for looking at the video. Thanks for taking the time to leave a comment. I appreciate it. Not everything I do is right for everyone. Most of the videos I've been making are things that I would want to see, and I know that not everybody would want to see what Justin wants to see. So that's okay with me. It's a big world out there, and any time that this could be helpful for someone, then that's great. I feel like I've maybe made a difference in the world, or for those that will use ServiceNow at least. Next up, Darius Kumari. Nice highlights, very helpful. This is from my ServiceNow store highlights, or SSH, last week's episode 10/27/2023. Thanks, Darius. I appreciate that. I make the ServiceNow store highlights video as a service to myself first, so that I can keep up with what's going on in the ServiceNow store, because I'm working with customers all the time and they may not know stuff that's new. So I feel like my job as a solutions consultant for ServiceNow, I don't work for ServiceNow, but I work for a partner that works with ServiceNow, that it's my job to keep up with stuff so that I know and can find the right solutions for people. And since I was taking the time to do that, I said, hey, I can share this with everybody else. So that's how ServiceNow Store Highlights got born. And recently, on one of our October episodes, I converted it or added to a audio-only podcast version. So now you don't even have to watch it. You can actually listen to it. You can increase the speed on it to 1.5x, 2x, or whatever you can handle. And you can listen to me talk really fast and go through the highlights, so you can keep up with what's going on really easily. So thanks, Darius, for watching and leaving a comment. Next up, Reese Brennan 90. 10 hours ago. Wow, we must be getting to the recent ones here. This is in response to ServiceNow Project Workspace 3.0 fixed. Hey Justin, I promise I'm not stalking your content. Hey Reese, it'd be okay if you were stalking my content. I certainly don't mind. Please stalk away. I don't mind at all. It doesn't offend me. Appreciate it. You seem to have a good SEO. I have given little to no thought about search engine optimization, Reese, so thank you again for the compliment. I'm glad that it's showing up and stuff. That might be more of the algorithm that YouTube's done is working in my favor, because maybe you watched a video and stuff like that. It looks like I got to click read more on this one, so let's go ahead and do that here. And I'll highlight it again. Have you come across an issue where in a fresh Vancouver PDI instance or an existing upgraded instance that when the view is month or below, if you adjust a task and it changes by hour, it locks the browser up? No, I haven't. So let's look at that again. Have you come across an issue where a fresh, when the view is month or below, so I'm assuming month or day, not year, if you adjust a task and it changes by hour, it locks the browser up? I don't know. Let's go look. Let's go to my PDI and let's go to project. I don't have Project Workspace in my PDI. Can you, maybe, and I guess I have a Vancouver instance. Let's go. This might take a second to load. I'll cut out the loading time. All right, let's head over to, I actually had to log in. Let's head over to Project Workspace. I'm sitting here thinking about it. Like, I didn't know I could change the view. Did I know that? Or from month to something else, to year? I didn't know I could do that. Let's see, all projects. I was actually demoing to a customer the other day, and I think, is it this one? Implement conversational interface actually has some data in it. This should take me directly to the work breakdown structure and the Gantt chart. The WBS being on the left-hand side, Gantt chart being on the right-hand side, and trying to talk longer so it'll load up. I don't know. I haven't been in this instance. Actually, while we're waiting, I'm on PTO, but the comments there's so many comments, I was like, hey, I got to record a comment desk. So I made sure, this one doesn't have any. Let's go back home here. I picked the wrong project. Which one was it the other day that I did? Is it add fingerprint? Maybe it's this one. Yes, has some tasks. Okay, so first let's change. Okay, this is what he's talking about. So day, week, month, quarter, year, and then auto fit. So let's go to month, like he was saying, and let's go back to what he said here. Have you come out when the view is month or below, if you adjust a task and it changes by hour, it locks the browser up. So, if I adjust a task and it changes by hour, I don't know what that means, changes by hour. It might be just the way you phrase that. My brain isn't understanding at the moment, but let's adjust a task here real quick. Let's go, you said by hours, so let's just change this to 1800 and hit of update. Everything looks okay. It's not locking up. I can still do things. Let's see if I can open it. Yeah, nothing's happening there. Let's change the date here. Let's go out a day and update. Yeah, no problems here. So I don't know if I reproduced that exactly what you were talking about. Let's just go ahead and adjust that. It's saving. So I can see it right there. It's saved. Yeah, I'm not having any issues. But I may not be doing exactly what you're talking about. So no, I guess it's a short answer. I could have said no. I haven't seen that issue. Above that, you can adjust by days, no hours, and it works fine. So you saw me do hour there, and it didn't. So yeah, that might be something unique. But you have the video here. You'll see what I did. So tell me if I did it wrong, if I did it the right way. I'll give you the same thing I said. It's hard to troubleshoot on YouTube because I'm relying on kind of text and not really seeing things. So. But no, I have not seen that yet. So next up and last, I'm on the last comment from Sayagabula6219. I don't know if I said that name right, so sorry if I butchered it, but please, I can't see the Atlassian Jira integration in my PDI. I believe that's by design. I think that you cannot do this in your PDI. In fact, I'm scrolling down that video. So does not work on a PDI. Thank you very much for watching. I recorded the video using a sub-prod or sub-production instance of ServiceNow and not my PDI. So there you go. I thought that was the case, but I just needed to check here. So this is one of those that ServiceNow does not make available for your PDI. Again, I don't work for ServiceNow. I don't make their products. I'm not on their design team. But sometimes that's the case. Let's go over to the ServiceNow store, see if that's changed since the last time. What was this? This was the Atlassian Jira integration. So let's go back here and we'll just search for Atlassian Jira. If you look, actually before we navigate away from this, look at this Microsoft Azure DevOps board spoke. Notice it's automatically entitled on customer sub-prod instances without purchase or license. So that means it's not available under PDI when you see that. And we'll go for the Atlassian Jira integration for Agile development, which was what that video was showing. And again, automatically entitled on customer sub-prod instances without purchase or license. This is not one of the ones that's available on a PDI. So if I go back, let's check for not Jira Service Management. Let's see, Jira integration for DevOps. I'm just going to search for Jira Spoke. I wonder if the Spoke is available in your PDI. I haven't actually checked. There's a different verbiage. Yeah, you can see it here. So the Jira Spoke is available in your PDI, just not that integration. So automatically entitled on sub-prod instances, all ServiceNow instances, all ServiceNow developer portal instances. So that's your PDI right here. So you probably want to use, if you're on your PDI, Jira Spoke, which means that video is not going to be very helpful for you because you're going to be on your own here. Designing the integration between ServiceNow and Jira, but you're in friendly company on my channel, at least, with the people who don't want to do it the way that I was showing it, to use Agile as that middleman, and using the Jira Spoke would allow you to not use that that Atlassian Jira for Agile development integration that I showed in the video. So I'm sorry that you're not able to do it in your PDI, but it wasn't intended for your PDI, and you're going to have to go the route for the Jira Spoke and kind of design everything. So that's the end of my comments. I will update all of these. You won't have to watch me do it, but if you are one of the people who left a comment, I will go ahead and respond, and I'll include a link to this video in the comment. And that video will come out. That video won't come out necessarily until later. You'll be able to view it beforehand by just using the link in the comments. And then the video will release probably sometime next week, should everything go okay, or maybe I'll release it early, you never know. So anyways, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please please subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, don't forget to always be learning.